Let's continue. Yesterday, part one, I talked about Jesus, the volume of the book being written of Jesus, as we read in Psalm 40 and also in Hebrews chapter 10. And yesterday I gave you a little example to kind of whet your appetite for looking for Jesus every time you read the Bible. Particularly, I'm talking about the Old Testament, because you wouldn't expect to see Jesus there. Look for Jesus in every story. Yesterday we talked about Isaac being offered on Mount Calvary, and the 3-day journey that Abraham the father took with his son. And knowing that he was going to sacrifice his son, he was actually grieving the death of Isaac for 3 days. And then of course Isaac was spared, so it was like the resurrection. And Abraham knew he was acting out prophecy, because there in Genesis 22 he said, after Isaac was spared and the ram was offered, he said, "On the mount of the Lord it shall be seen." And there on the mount of the Lord it was seen when Jesus Christ died, when the Father gave his only son Jesus, his one and only son, to die for the entire world. But I want to back up a little bit, because we have to look back to the birth of Isaac, because the birth of Isaac was a miraculous birth. You know, people talk about Abraham waiting patiently for God to grant his son out of his own loins and from Sarah. But God did that on purpose, because by the time Isaac was born, it was a total miracle. Abraham was closing in on 100 years old, and Sarah was not too far behind that. And it had ceased to be with her after the manner of women. She had long passed going through the change of life, and so she couldn't possibly have a child. And Abraham couldn't possibly father a child. It said that he was as good as dead. I mean, as far as his physical ability to father a child, he was dead in that way, and impotent, and Sarah was also not able. And so Isaac was a miraculous birth given by promise, just as Jesus had a miraculous birth by the Father through a virgin named Mary, a virgin birth without a human man being involved whatsoever. So there again, Isaac is a type, a picture of, a model of Jesus Christ. There's so much for us to learn as we go through this. We're going to continue in this vein, talking about Isaac, and then we're going to go to some other types in the Bible, some other models in the Bible that point out so clearly Jesus Christ. And once you realize that you're reading about Jesus in every story, the Bible comes alive, because it's no longer like a dry history. But you'll be amazed as we uncover many of these examples. But I want you to ask the Holy Spirit to open up your eyes to see Jesus in everything you read in the Bible.